Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to today's video. So today we're going to look at a highly anticipated video, or rather, a lot of people have been messaging me lately asking where to trade cryptocurrencies, where to buy Bitcoin, and so on. Today I've decided to make a complete tutorial on the Binance exchange, which is undoubtedly one of the largest exchanges in the world, if not the largest and most widely used, primarily for trading and a lot of other things. To start off, I want to mention that you can use my referral code, which I'll provide in the description of the video, and you'll get a 10% discount on futures, which is the highest possible, and a 21% discount on spot purchases. So if you want to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, for example, I definitely think Binance is number one for that. So let's take a complete look at this futures trading. Today we'll show you how to get started here. I should also mention that if you register through my link, you can additionally get up to $100 from Binance. The only thing you need to do within 14 days is to verify your account and make your first deposit, at least $10, through peer-to-peer or fiat, which means you can deposit, for example, 10 euros or $10 and make your first trade of at least $10, which I think is quite achievable. And you can easily get up to $100 like this from Binance. Everything I'm going to show you today is transparent, so you can also see how many people have registered through me and so on. I'm not hiding anything from you, as always. Currently, it's quite an interesting situation in the cryptocurrency market. We're at Bitcoin almost at an all-time high, and many other cryptocurrencies are also at all-time highs. So for me, it's definitely an interesting time to jump into the world of cryptocurrencies, and let's take a look at that. Currently, I have prepared here, so you'll see this in the dashboard, where you'll see all your cryptocurrencies and your various assets, whether it's the overview, which I'm currently in, where you can see how much money you have in the account. You can see it in Bitcoin. You can also see the dollar value. You can see P&L, or profit and loss, for the last 24 hours. And I see here the deposit, meaning the money you've put in, whether it's cryptocurrencies or fiat, which means euros, dollars, and so on, or withdrawals. Again, either crypto or euros, dollars, and so on, or transfers, meaning between different accounts, whether it's spot margin, which means leverage trading, futures, meaning futures contracts, just trading, options or trading bots, earn funding, and so on and so forth. So we can simply walk through it. Spot. A spot wallet actually means when you buy Bitcoin, for example, the actual Bitcoin that you can withdraw from the exchange to your wallet, and it's not actually a derivative, which is a lot of other options. So spot is the reason, or spot is the place where you want to buy cryptocurrencies if you want to hold them for the long term, for example, and you might want to keep them more securely on a hardware wallet, although I personally think that Binance might be a better place for beginners to store their funds because you can't make any mistakes there, and in case you lose some funds through a hack or something, Binance is very well insured. So I think that rather than immediately stuffing it into some wallet outside of Binance or outside of the exchange in general, it's better to leave it on the exchange. If you still have a small amount of money there, then it really doesn't make sense, in my opinion. Here you can see what assets I have here. I currently hold a portal and so on. And one of the things you can do here is convert small assets into BNB, which I recommend if you have some small amounts, so you can convert them like that. Here you can hide assets that are worth less than $1, which can also be quite nice. You can also search here if you ever have them, maybe more, and we can afford that deposit. I can either choose to withdraw crypto deposit, which is clear. Here I choose which coin I want to deposit. Here I can see my previous transactions. I can see XRP, Ripple, Bitcoin, WorldCoin, BNB, etc. All the cryptocurrencies that are traded on Binance can be deposited here. I'll deposit, let's say, WorldCoin. I'll choose the address from which I want to send it. I choose Ethereum or Optimism, for example, and it will generate an address for me too. It comes to me. So for example, I see here that it takes 25 minutes. Yes, here I would send it to this address or via QR code to Optimism. If I wanted to deposit that specific coin, yes, I can deposit anything else there, of course. It will work the same with Bitcoin. Be careful that simply every asset, every network will always have a different deposit address. So just be a little careful about that. If I want to accept Bitcoin, I have different options here for which network to send it through. So it depends on which network you send it from. If you have it on Ethereum, you send it through this one. If it's on the BNB chain, then through this one, and so on and so forth. Yeah, really be careful about that, because if you send it incorrectly, those funds probably won't arrive, or they won't arrive at all, and you'll lose them. So I always honestly recommend sending a smaller amount first. To confirm if I'm sure, I also withdraw and then invite a larger amount. Yeah, you might lose a little bit of money, but it's still better to lose a small amount than to lose a lot. Here you can see what the minimum deposit is, how long does it take for it to show up there, and how long can you withdraw it back. So that's it, that's the crypto deposit. For me, it's very simple between exchanges when I'm moving, or between, say, a hardware wallet or a software wallet and an exchange. So I would do it like this. I probably won't get into B2B trading, which means you can buy directly from someone else, and it actually goes outside the exchange, if I understand it correctly. It can be that I go there and say, I want to buy Bitcoin for, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000, and someone else comes and says, well, I'll sell it to you. Yeah, and it gets settled through the exchange, but you actually have to pay that money to a specific person. Anyway, I would usually buy more stable like this. It probably doesn't make much sense to buy anything else, but it's a way to save on fees, although I honestly don't use it much. Right here, you have the buy crypto section, which you can also do, and you select the payment method, usually a credit card, which is nice. And here you can see what my card is, but I won't show that here. And you can see how much you'll buy it for, what the price will be. So you can see that the cheapest option will be through the Euro wallet, and how much Bitcoin will actually cost you. So I see that it's, for example, the most expensive here. The cheapest is over there. Of course, this method is the best. The most expensive, yeah. And if, on the other hand, you're just buying a few coins, I almost wanted to say a few Bitcoins, but for a few euros, then it's probably fine to buy it this way. It's the easiest way. And you don't have to deal with any bank or anything like that, although it is obviously more advantageous. So when I go back, so again, I'll make a deposit, or I'll do a bank deposit. If you have a larger amount of money that you decide to invest in cryptocurrency, I definitely recommend doing it this way. I don't know if USD is supported. They're not supported, so you have to go through euros, and you can either use SEPA, which takes 1 to 3 days. I don't know what the big difference is. Here you have a €0.5 fee, here you have a euro fee, 1 to 3 days, and here it says it will be directly in euros. No, so it's probably better through SEPA. Here you actually have some promo going on right now, but you'll get it through VAT, which, well, I would probably want to exchange it on the exchange later. I wouldn't want to do it through the provider. Or through Zen, you can also do that, which is something like Revolut, a friendly option from Binance. Or through a credit card, which has a €2 fee, which I don't really recommend because, sorry, it's a 2% fee, which is quite a lot. So I don't really recommend doing that. I recommend doing it like this through SEPA. So I'll click continue and choose that I want to put in, I don't know, €10. So I'll confirm it like this. And then I see here that it has to be a bank name in my name. So you have these kinds of things, these warnings here. And here you have the deposit reference code, which means that when you send it, it's actually a note for the recipient, I think that's what it's called, or a variable symbol. I would just put it everywhere. Usually when you send it, I usually send it from Revolut, which is probably the best in euros straight away. So I always see the recipient, IBAN, etc. As I said, I recommend sending a smaller amount first. I think it takes like 2 business days, but I haven't sent any more time, to be honest. So I don't know. So again, I recommend if you have any FOMO, okay, buy it with a card. You have it there right away. If you want to wait a while, if you have a smaller amount via the SEPA, feel free to send yourself a smaller amount, say €100, and as soon as you get the chance, you can repeat it here right away, and you have it there. So we basically have a basic crypto purchase planned. I'm saying it's not complicated. If I were to make a withdrawal, I could choose Bitcoin again, for example, and I have a hardened address, which means I have another layer of security. So if I were to actually withdraw, I would have to confirm the address first. Actually put an authenticator, email, SMS there a few times. I recommend having it really well secured because I really don't want you to lose the money if someone hacks your account. If someone gets your password, you really want to have it well confirmed. Ideally, maybe even through Face ID. You can choose to send money to someone on Binance. The verification there isn't that hard. You just need to enter the user ID. You can see here that a lot of people have been sent some money in the past for commenting on my videos. So definitely, if you watch this video, give me a comment, and always I'll pick a few people from the comments and then send them money on Binance. Here you can see that it also works through a phone number. I see that I have some kind of limit, 116 Bitcoins a day, which is pretty good. I can handle that, and I assume most of you can too. Or you can go directly through the email of the person who has Binance, which is important. Here you can actually see the address. I would have to whitelist it, which I'm not going to do right now. I can see how much Bitcoin I have, and I have very little, and how much I can withdraw at a minimum. Of course, there's some network fee, and again, there's a limit of 116 Bitcoins per day. That's currently a bit over, like well over 100 million, so that's pretty good. Okay, so we're going back to the assets, or I can go to the dashboard. It's basically the same thing. Then I also have the option to transfer, so I can move funds between different wallets within my Binance account. Here I have futures, here I have more futures, and here I have a funding account. Here I have isolated margin. I trade through, I think, USDM futures, so I could transfer USDT like this to another wallet or to cross margin. It doesn't really matter. Isolated margin versus cross margin means that when you have cross margin, it's a cross type and your entire account is used as collateral. When you have a leveraged position, if it's isolated, you only use that position. It can't affect your entire account, which I generally recommend. Likewise with futures, if you're using them so you can easily forward it like this, I won't do it because it's probably unnecessary. So we've explained the spot wallet, which is probably the basic thing you need to know. Then you have margin, which means you're trading with some leverage. Of course, you have to be careful because it can liquidate you. This is classic 3x margin, which means you actually borrow to open a position that's up to 3 times larger. I personally like this. Isolated is also an option. You can go up to 5x, sometimes even 10x. Basically, you buy more Bitcoin than you normally would, but of course, don't think that you can buy 10 times more and then just walk away from the exchange. It doesn't work that way. You buy more and it's just for trading. Are you speculating on a greater increase in, for example, Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies? What I also wanted to show in this video are futures, and then we'll also look at how all of that actually works. Here I can see where I actually have them in my account. I can always move them between those little pockets. Yeah, I would transfer it here if I wanted to trade on futures right now. Then we also have options, which I don't use much, and as you can see, I haven't used them yet. Now I'm going to open an account. Those municipalities are of course more regulated in various legal matters, etc. Then we have trading pots, because Binance now even allows copy trading. We'll show that sometime in another video. The next thing I want to mention is the earn section. In it, you can see that I have mainly $7,000 and I have it all in BNB. And currently I have it in the Launchpad section where I'm earning AVO tokens. By the way, at the moment you see this video, the event has probably already ended, but I recommend doing it because you can earn some pretty interesting profits completely for free. In the simple earn section, you can see earn products and you can choose from them. There are plenty of cryptocurrencies here that you can stake, either for a fixed period, which means locking it in, or flexibly. Of course, with the flexible option, you'll always have a smaller interest rate. When you have it locked in, the interest rate will always be higher. Here you can see the different percentages that are here. I actually get these through the BNB Vault because the flexible, so I can earn those rewards from the launch pool, which means new cryptocurrencies that are created on Binance, and they actually give them to you as a gift, in quotes. Here you can see that with USDT, with the flexible option, you can currently earn up to 28% annual interest, which I think is pretty good. You know the rules and so on, definitely, if you want to do it. Always read what you need to know, etc. Here you can see that many cryptocurrencies here offer quite interesting interest rates. Of course, it's not like anything extreme, but I think it's good. Here I see that what I can do depends on what cryptocurrency I have and what they offer me. Here I see that, for example, Alpine has simple earn, and I can deposit it there like this, and I'll be earning some tokens over time, and I can see, for example, how many tokens it will give me after a certain number of years. It's a pretty good way to multiply your cryptocurrencies, especially if you have things like Bitcoin for the long term. Then it can make a lot of sense. Of course, it's not a big percentage, it's 0.31%, but if you have more Bitcoin, it can be quite an interesting amount. So that's it. We looked at the F1 section. I could probably make a separate video about it. You can, of course, lock BNB2 and you get 3.5%, which is quite interesting. And plus, of course, you also get AI vote tokens currently, which you can do through Simple Earn. So I would subscribe, and here I see that 3.5%, but you have to lock it for 4 months. Yes, but you have a guaranteed 3.5% plus those launch pool rewards, which is nice because you can get to a significantly higher percentage. So we went through the earn funding column. I honestly don't even know what it means, but okay, maybe it will be for spending. Yeah, sure. You have that. If you have a card or through Binance Pay, you can do it 100 times. To pay, they have some other wallets that they use, but I don't really use those much. So let's take a look at the section. I clicked here and you have the market section where you can see how different cryptocurrencies are growing. BNB is rising a lot, which I also hold a lot of. BTC is going up, Ethereum, everything. There are also new listings, whether it's Viv, Portal, and so on. Of course, one more thing that I haven't done is switch to dark mode, which I actually prefer a lot. And here you can see which cryptocurrencies I have favorites in spot trading. Here you can see which cryptocurrencies, actually all of them. You can see the change over 24 hours or 1 hour. And of course, you can change all of that. You can see them sorted by market cap. That means how much money is in it. Very briefly explained. And here you can see the smallest cryptocurrencies that are available on Binance. And you can see that they all have at least around $5 to $10 million in market cap. Because you can always look at the details of the cryptocurrency here and something will be written about it. You can trade it or buy it right away, and you can trade with it beautifully like this. Here you can see that they have the lowest fees compared to Coinbase and Kraken, so that's pretty nice. So I'm going to go back to the details that interested me about Bitcoin. Here they actually have 0 fees even when buying with FTUSD, which is a stablecoin from Binance, or rather supported by Binance. So you can buy completely without fees. Here you see other pairs that are here against USDT, which is the most used stablecoin, against FTUSD, which is as one of the most used stablecoins on Binance specifically, and USDC, which is the most audited stablecoin from Circle. Here you can also vote on how you feel about Bitcoin, whether it will go up or down. You have various news here, and of course some forecasts. You can see that Bitcoin has been doing well lately. There are also various pieces of information regarding the white paper and so on. They really have it beautifully done, so you don't actually have to go anywhere else. If you're a fan of Binance, you don't need to go outside of Binance. Of course, you can click through directly, and get straight to the exchange where you can trade Bitcoin right away, buy, sell, and so on. Here we have various spot trades, futures trades, new listings, zones, which means they're divided based on whether they are, for example, AI, meme, metaverse, seed, which means where they should invest, gaming, and so on and so forth. Yeah, seed tokens, sure, it doesn't necessarily mean that Binance has invested in them. It could be the case, and they are mostly very volatile tokens, new tokens that currently have a lot of hype. Of course, you can also connect to new listings and so on and so on. Those knees, you can divide them. As I said, we have memes here, we have metaverse, seed, gaming, launch pool, infrastructure, fund tokens, and so on and so forth. You can categorize them and buy the tokens you believe in based on that. Today we won't go through futures at all. I'm going to look at classic spot buying, which is something most of you will be dealing with, and I'll show you how easily you can buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies here. As you can see, Bitcoin is currently approaching its all-time high again. Right now, we have another drop, very similar to the drop we had here. It's quite an interesting situation happening live right now. I had no idea that Bitcoin would start doing things like this while I was recording, so during our video, we've surpassed the all-time high for Bitcoin, which is definitely a good sign. Here we can see the orders, limit orders, and you can see how much liquidity there actually is. We can see that there's quite a lot. And here we see the other side of the orders from the buyers, and here we see the sellers. We can filter it like this and navigate based on that. Here you can see that a news report just came out that Bitcoin surpassed $6,000 and $9,000 about 10 minutes ago. But again, we've dropped back down. So it's quite an interesting situation. So here you can see this is the spot market, and this is what you want to stick to if you want to actually buy Bitcoin and don't want to trade anything complicated. You can either set a limit order, which means I can set a limit order here, for example, right now at $67,000. It won't get filled because I don't have enough money in USDT, but I'll set it at $67,000, and here at $67,000, I prepared a buy order. So if Bitcoin drops to that price, it would get filled like this. You can see it here, and that order would appear here at $67,000. Here you can see that not many people are buying. I was expecting there to be more here. Yes, that's in Bitcoins. No, that's it. Then you obviously set how much you want to buy it for. I have here, as I say, $0.01, so it's not much, but we can show that if it were just Bitcoin, I would buy for $67,000, which is probably clear to everyone. Likewise, if I did it for sale, it's exactly the same situation. Here I would say to myself that I want to sell it for $70,000, which is that we weren't too far off. I choose how much Bitcoin I want to sell. If I had it there, click on sell, and the moment that price is reached, it will sell for me. Here I can see various order histories, trade histories, and so on. I also want to show you that if I wanted to buy Bitcoin right now at market price, I can do that. That means at the current market price, which is right here in the middle, where the orders are being settled. So it actually comes in and tells you what the lowest sell order is, and I buy that. And I take the price that's there right now and go with it, which can also be a good way to buy, because if you just buy right now, I don't know, every day of the month, every day of the week, just buying now, that's an ideal way. Of course, you can place a limit order somewhere here. I can turn to you and the price will jump, which could have happened here. If you wanted to shop here, the price never came back. You wanted to shop here, you didn't make it. You wanted to shop here, you didn't make it, and the price didn't get there. So the people who have orders here may have to wait a very long time, but they don't have to wait long for the price to get there. I'm completely confused by the Bitcoin situation, honestly, what's going on here, because, again, actually, we're surpassing the all-time high, actually, but we didn't reach that $70,000 mark. Apparently, a lot of people want to sell there, and at that moment, when the price gets there, a lot of people click on market sell, and everyone just starts selling, which is quite funny. Right now, we see that someone wants to sell at $70,000, but unfortunately, it changes so quickly that I can't read it in time, but it's quite a lot of Bitcoin. Here, 6,000. Bitcoin is at 71,000, and here at 20,000, I think there are 29,000 Bitcoins that want to be sold at $70,000. But there isn't currently any demand for that. Everyone would have to push the price up for those people to be able to buy. So here are some other things: analysis, info, etc. It probably doesn't make sense to go through it all necessarily. Here on the right, I can see my trades on Bitcoin, but I haven't had any recently. Here I can look up various cryptocurrencies like BNB and here I see that BNB is doing extremely well for us. There was also some drop here, etc. Now we're back here, and I can buy or sell it again. Since I have it staked, I would have to unstake it, and then I could sell it, whether at the current price, etc. One of the things I'll show you that is important to know is that a lot of cryptocurrencies can be traded here, like Bitcoin and others, against various cryptocurrencies. So I can type BTC here, and it shows USDT, FDUSD. I can sell it for BNB for BTC. This means that when I buy, that's the pair, so I buy with Bitcoin, and I'm buying BNB with Bitcoin. If I was selling, I'd be selling BNB and buying Bitcoin. It's actually BTC, USD. When you buy, you're buying BTC, the first part of the pair. Here I can see how much I'm selling, and here how much I'm buying, basically BNB, and sell BNB. So you can definitely play around a lot with that graph. I also have the trading view option and many others. At the same time, I also see things here that are traded for FDUSD, where you have that brick and mortar Bitcoin for USDC, TUSD for BNB, so I can find out what is currently being traded for BNB. And I see that there's quite a bit here. So of course you can multiply your BNB or Bitcoins like this and so on. Here I also have online support down below. I just noticed that, and that's pretty much everything about trading. I think we've covered it all, more or less. We can also take a quick look at the futures. In futures, you're buying a derivative, which means you're not actually buying the token itself, and you can speculate here with a much larger leverage. The maximum here is 125. So at the moment, when Bitcoin moves up by 1% and you're speculating on that increase, you make 125 times more. That means 125%. When it goes down, you've lost everything. So that's obviously the risk of trading on futures. These are contracts that are settled continuously. You can buy it anytime, sell it anytime. They have no expiration. But of course, you pay for the funding here. That means you pay for being long or for being short. So of course, you have to be careful not to pay high fees here. Currently, it's very high, meaning there's a 0.6 positive funding, which indicates that a lot of people are long on the exchange and speculating on an increase, while few are speculating on a decrease. That means if you're long here, so you pay 0.026% every 8 hours, or every hour, of course, you can check that here, sure, but it's not exactly a small amount, right? From that position, it might seem like 0.06%, but those percentages can change quite quickly, of course. So if you're currently short, speculating on a decrease, then the exchange actually pays you, which is also good. They are trying to, you divide that or try to balance the difference between the number of people who are long and those who are short. Well, that's pretty much everything. Last night, the futures portal opened up for us, where you have a lot of things, a lot to trade, etc. But if you're a beginner, I recommend sticking to buying on the spot market, spot Bitcoin or Ethereum or other cryptocurrencies or whatever you want. This is, as I said, just a guide on how to get into the world of cryptocurrencies. In 40 days, we have the Bitcoin halving coming up, when the rewards that miners receive for each mined block will be cut in half again. So for me, it's currently a very interesting time to be in the world of cryptocurrencies. We have an approved Bitcoin ETF, and so on and so forth. Again, I mentioned that down in the video description. You have a link for the maximum possible discount on Binance. Also, if you register, definitely message me on Instagram and I'll add you to the private VIP group. If you're registered on Binance, and I'll be sharing special info and a lot of other benefits there. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you leave a comment, I'll pick one of you and send some money to your Binance account. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time in another video.